Hey, hey, hey! What about rejection? How many times in your life have you felt like you've been rejected? Where somebody doesn't choose you, or maybe you're in a business and you're afraid to make calls, cold calls, or to pick up the phone and just call somebody because you're afraid they'll reject you because you're not good enough or they don't want what you have. Or maybe you're dating and you are afraid of getting rejected on dates. Or in any business that you're in, can you just see the areas of life where you have felt rejection over and over again? Well, I'm going to share my own personal stories of rejection and show you how you can reject the word rejection and get it out of your vocabulary and never have to think about it again, because it makes you free yourself when you free yourself from this place of rejection. And I just want to do a mic check because I have a new mic. So if you can hear me, put in the comments, yes. Hi, Steve. So just pop in the comments if you can hear me okay, because I have this new mic and I want to make sure it works. So I'm Arriane Alexander. I am the Facebook Live bombshell, and it is my joy and pleasure to continue to share with you awesomeness that can support you in your life. And tonight, it's all about rejection. So think about in your life where you have felt rejected. Okay. And I'm going to tell you my own stories. So when I was in my 20s, I lived in Oklahoma, and I'm really tall. I'm like 5'10", and I've always been super curvy. Hi, Adam. Hi, Steven. I've always been really curvy and really tall and pretty and all that. Hi, Cam. And all. So I was like, well, I'm going to be a model. I'm going to be a plus-size model. That was like my thing. I was like, I'm perfect. It was just kind of when plus-size modeling was like hitting the world, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be this famous plus-size model, but I lived in Oklahoma. But long story short, I ended up moving to Chicago because I signed with the Elite Modeling Agency in Chicago, which is like a huge modeling agency there. And they had just started this plus-size division, and so they were, I was so excited because I was like, I'm going to move to Chicago, and I'm going to be a famous plus-size model, and then I'm going to be able to do great things in the world. And I was so, I left, I moved, I like left my career, I moved to Chicago, I went part-time with my company, I was modeling, and I was sure I was gonna make it. Well, ha ha ha, the universe had other things in store for me. So what happened was I modeled, and I tried to get work modeling for like a year and a half, and I couldn't get any work. I mean, like, I couldn't get hired for anything. They would send me out for, they're called ghosties, which are basically auditions. And I wouldn't book jobs. So I booked like one job, a print job, the whole time I was in Chicago. And finally, a year and a half later, my agent calls me and she says, we're going to drop you from our roster. And I was like, what did you say? And she goes, yeah, you're just not booking any work, so we're going to drop you. And you talk about rejection. Okay, I'm in my 20s. I don't know anything about anything. I'm thinking my dream is shattered. My life is over. I have just been dropped by my modeling agency, which was my dream to create this career as a famous plus-size model. And now they're rejecting me. They're literally saying, hi, this is what I heard. This is what I heard in my head. I heard them saying, hi, you're not pretty enough, and you're not good enough, and you don't know enough, and did we tell you you're not pretty enough? I mean, that's what I heard in my head that they were saying to me when they dropped me from the agency. So I went into this major depression and major upset. It was a huge turning point in my life because it was like a crush had come down on my dreams. But through that process is when I ended up going, I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and it changed my life, and I was like, oh my God, I have a bigger purpose here, and I ended up moving to California. So it took me on this trajectory into the most amazing parts of my life. But when I reflect back on that, you know, can you relate to that? Have you had something in your life where you wanted this thing, and you know, whether it was a job or a person, you know, in relationship or anywhere in your life, and you felt like rejected, even if it's little, even if it's like calling someone, you know, for a business deal, but you're afraid to call them because you're afraid you're going to get rejected. It's putting yourself out there in social media. Are you afraid to put yourself out there and spread your message through Facebook Live and social media because you're afraid you're going to be rejected? So I see where this shows up with so many of my coaching clients, this place of feeling rejected. But the truth is, there is no rejection. I want us all to take the word rejection out of our vocabulary, because there actually is no such thing as rejection. Because in my experience, when I got dropped by my modeling agency, it wasn't because I wasn't pretty enough or didn't know enough or wasn't a good enough model or whatever it was. Who cares what it was? But basically what they were saying was, we need this for our business and you're this, and so it doesn't fit. It's really as simple as that. We need, for our modeling agency, we need this type of model that works, books work, and fits into our criteria, and you don't. So like, we can't have you on our roster anymore. So that's not rejection. That's just how it works. That's like criteria, that's guidelines, that's preferences. And it's the same thing with dating, with business building, with any of it. Because I hear it all the time with dating. People are like, oh, I got rejected. And I'm like, what? How could you get rejected? Because in life, in love, in connections and relationships, it's either a fit or it's not. It's not like it's rejection. It's like, oh, I have this thing that I desire to create in my life experience with my partner, and you have this experience that you want to create, and does it match? And if it doesn't on one side or the other, it's not a match. But it's not rejection. It's not like, you're awful and I hate you and I never want to see you again. It's not that. It's just, and even if it is, that's still not rejection, because it has nothing to do with you. Every single person's experience and what they say to you and how they treat you and how they respond to you has nothing to do with you. It's to do with them, because I come in with my background of thoughts and beliefs and experiences all through life, and then I meet you and I just respond of how I know to respond from my background and what I like and what are my preferences, and you respond from your background. But how I respond to you really has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me and my preferences and my background and my beliefs and my judgments. Does that make sense? So if you have a place in your life that you feel this place of rejection, just type in the comments that yes, like I felt, just type yes, because I know we've all been there of feeling rejected at some point in our lives. And I found it too when I moved to LA and I ended up in the entertainment business. That's one of the things that I do, is I work as an actor. Talk about rejection. Oh my God. Like, all I do is go on auditions. As a working actor in Los Angeles, we audition a lot. I can audition 50 times before I actually book a role. I auditioned all last year, all 2016. I didn't book one TV show. I've booked lots of stuff in my life, but last year I didn't book one TV show. I went on probably 40 or 50 auditions. So, but is that rejection? Or is that a TV show saying, hi, we need this person to fit our jigsaw puzzle of what we're putting together for our TV show, and Arriane doesn't fit into that picture. So that's not rejection. It's just, I didn't fit what they needed in the moment for their TV show. So where in your life does this show up? If you agree that you have places in your life where you felt rejection, just hit your like button. Type in the comments yes. And even if you're willing, put in the comments where it shows up for you, where you feel this place of rejection. Because what I do is I go through all the comments, whether you're watching live or you're watching a replay, and I really answer every comment and every question that you have. So it's fascinating to me to see what rejection does to people. And I hope you can see from my experience, my personal stories of, I've been rejected. Like, if people look at my life, I've been rejected like 8,000 times, okay? I've been rejected by guys, like guys I go out with, and they'll be like, I don't really want to date you. And I'm like, okay, it's not personal. It's just like, it's not a match for what he needs. It's not a match for my TV shows. It's not a match for clients. When I talk to potential coaching clients and we have a conversation, and then they're like, yeah, I don't think you're the coach for me. It's not rejection. It's simply, it's not a fit for what they need in that moment. And I've told clients, like, they're not a fit for me to work with. But it's not rejection. It's just like, I have an ideal client that I work with. And if they're not that, then I don't work with them. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to check the comments on my laptop over here to see what you guys are saying, because sometimes it doesn't show up on my phone. There's a little delay. So hang tight and let me see the comments. And if you have any questions while I'm on the live feed, just feel free to throw out any questions, because I love to answer any questions. And again, I'll answer them all in the replay and through the live. Steve says, absolutely wonderful perspective. I completely agree with all that you have said. Thank you, Stephen. And where does it show up in your life? I'm curious, where do you find like your experience of rejection has shown up in the past? I'm always curious to know. And anybody else chime in? Okay, cool. I'm going to go to my personal page too. So my challenge to you is, how do you look at rejection differently? How can you go through your day and actually not feel rejected? And look at it in your business, because I love to work with business people. So look at it in your business. Who can you reach out to that you might get a no, but would be a challenge for you to reach out to them, right? Thank you for the love hearts. I love the little hearts and like signs that fly across the screen. Where can you make that phone call, make that email that you're scared to make because you're afraid of getting rejected because you think you're not good enough or whatever? And I challenge you to do it. I challenge you to just send the email, to make the phone call, because just doing that action will bust you out of this cycle of thinking you're being rejected. That will help start the process. Okay, so, all right, cool, we're good. So go get them. Go be confident. Go be, definitely try something new. You know, do something different. Reach out in a different way to people in your lives, to people that you want to be in business with, that you want to build relationships with. And if they say no, thanks, just sit in yourself and know it has nothing to do with you, and that there's no such thing as rejection. It's just preferences, it's guidelines, it's criteria, and that makes life so much easier. Okay, my loves, ciao, ciao, good night. I love you. I love seeing you here. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye.